Congratulations. Mazel tov to everyone. As this Shabbos, we conclude Sefer Bereshis, along with many, many thousands of communities around the world. As we finish Bereshis, let us return, reflect, review what was accomplished. Sefer Bereshis has another name. The other name is called Sefer HaYashar. Yashar meaning straight, colloquially meaning integrity, perhaps just. And the Nitziv, in his Emek Davar, classic commentary, modern commentary, from the Tzolei Tzvi Yehuda Berlin. So he has an introduction to each of the 5 books of the Torah. Let's, for a moment, take a look at his introduction, his summary of Sefer Bereshis. And we see this commentary coming out of Volozhin so many years ago. It's quite appropriate for us to consider what it means today. He says, why is it called Sefer HaYashar? He says, because the founders of Judaism, the matriarchs and patriarchs, referred to as Yesharim, people who were Yashar. It's hard to fully translate the word Yashar. Yashar means, there's so much lost in translation. As we said, they were straight with one another. But with the whole world, despite the trials and travails, tribulations brought by their neighbors and their enemies, and their migrations, their existential threats, they were always Yashar. And this is what defines Bereshis. We see as everyone in our original family came down to Mitzrayim, they left the land of Canaan, the land of Israel. Despite all of that, they had this yashrus to them, this great quality, this great character. Yesharim, interestingly enough, is a moniker given to them by a non-Jew, given to them by Bilam. And it's very insightful because we are uniquely worthy when we practice this yashrus quality, this fine midah, and exhibit these midos exemplified by personalities in Bereshis, our ancestors. And we're told by tradition that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed not because there weren't any tzaddikim. There were tzaddikim, there were Hasidim, righteous people, pious people, people involved in Torah study, great scholars. All of that existed, but do you know why? Do you know why, says the Nitziv, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash anymore? Because of a lack of yashrus, how we deal with people. You can be erudite, you can be great in so many different areas of life, but if you're not yashar, you don't have that kind of, you don't hold yourself to that standard of integrity, being straight with people, being just, you're not worthy of being in the land of Israel. You're not worthy. We are not worthy of having a Beis HaMikdash and having the spiritual headquarters intact. And so Nitziv explains that this is why Bereshis is called Sefer HaYashar. And with that commentary, with that explanation, as we conclude the book of Bereshis, we realize that we have to live up to these principles. Just like that generation in Egypt had to look back on the Jews of Sefer Bereshis. We too. We want to return. We want to understand what kind of people we need to be. We need to be the people who have a resemblance to the Yashrus of Sefer HaYashar, which is the name of Bereshis. And we look at what examples do we get. It's not just their philosophical insights and theological insights. It's their character. And that's what we are meant to mimic when we look back on Sefer Bereshis. Hashem has patience for lots of different mistakes that human beings make. But the Almighty's patience is short when it comes to people who lack this midah, this attribute of being yashar. And so when creation, as we look at the Genesis, that was the beginning of the book, the intention was to create people who use and utilize their free will to be upstanding individuals. And so as we conclude Sefer Bereishis, we realize more personalities are discussed in Sefer Bereishis than the other books, than the other of the Chamishei Chumshei Torah. It's because of the way that they lived and the character that they had, despite many mistakes, but it's their yashar attitude that we try to follow. Thank you and have a great Shabbos.